Some of part of this document are all shared and short-sighted. My investigation led me to a higher, more complex and malevolent shit. Most of the stuff is right on the money about the government control and all that stuff. The document is correct about time and vibrations. How the vibrational state of things are manipulated by some entities that have technological advance. This is important. Omnicord. This had to do with the levels of vibration and the entities and what we call God, the Creator. He vibrates super high intensity. He sees it all. This is an excellent part of the document. It's a part that you could really think of and analyze. If the object themselves a manifestation of higher energy, then something has to manipulate those energies somehow and reduce them to visible frequency. That's correct. They take form which seem physical and real to us, and they carry out action which seem to be intelligent. Thus the right source. The source has to be the form of intelligent energy operating at the highest possible point of the frequency spectrum. If such an energy exists at all, it might be permeate the universe and maintain equal control of each component part. Because of its very high frequency, so high that the energy particles are virtually standing still, the source has no need to replenish itself in any way that would be acceptable to our environmental sciences. It could actually create and destroy matter by manipulating the lower energy. It would be timeless because it exists beyond all time fields. It would be infinite because it's not confined to three-dimensional space. In fact, it's non-dimensional. You don't need dimension. It sees everything. And in the end, we talk about multiverses, which is correct too. Man has always been aware of this intelligent energy or force. He has always worshipped it. I.e., God, Jesus, or the universal being, etc. This is very, very good part right here. Focus. Oh, no. Shit. observers from the entire star system are watching the Terrans, and they know the guidelines for warp zones. That's correct. By the metrics I have seen in space, there are corridors that lead to places. It's only knowing where and how to do in fact, there is an image from the Lunar Orbiter 3 that caught the objects living into a sort of wormhole, or worm tube that leads in the hook into something in space, the medium that leads to those corridors. You can cut distances by getting into certain points where the frequencies are balanced. The crop circle. Mexico, England, and several parts of Earth has these points where the specific frequency makes us able to see in 3 dimensions. We can go into a different dimensional fifth dimension, parallel universal multiverses. Infinite numbers of parallel universes using math to make it. Well, that's correct. There are no limits of the higher or lower number that exist. It's impossible to figure this number, like it's impossible to figure extension of possibilities of the multiverse. And that's the symbol right there. We are capable of accelerating or decelerating the frequency to make us able to exist in the 3rd dimension. We can jump to the 5th dimension or the multiverse. That's correct. And explain that by using a radio, you can tune into different radio stations, but only one at a time. Unless you have several radios and you can tune in all the stations at once, then you can tune now into each one of them at the same time, if you wish. That's just an analogy. England. It had to do with hinges in a link with Tomo ancient grave and a stone circle hinge, and on the side hinges mounted on stone circle were constructed in relation to underground water linked to these ley lines or energy lines. That's totally correct. Also, it's combined with the present underground quartz deposit. Also, the lunar gravitational effects on the water landmass and the buildup of electrical magnetic charge from the quartz produces a periodic energy discharge. The only way to detect these things are with electro-optical devices that have wide spectrum, infrared to ultraviolet, near and extreme. Like the case of STS-75, the terror incident. those entities were so intrigued by that terror that they had to come and see, and they realized that we were up to something right. We were in the right path. And probably that was a test too, to see what, in fact, I believe that that cord was broken off by the entities themselves. It just didn't snap just like that, no. It was broken off by them to examine it. Once it drifted far enough, 80 nautical miles. They tell me that they built a kick-ass satellite that cost billions of dollars, and it's just gonna snap like that in space where there is no wind or no. That was done by them. And once it drifted far enough, they all appeared to start examining it. But it was only recorded in ultraviolet spectrum. The camera had ultraviolet spectrum. It wasn't a regular camera that captured the image of the STS UFOs. The 3 mile big with a notch in the back or on the side, whatever. These are the manifestation of crop circles, domes. Messages from interdimensional beings. Now, this is where it gets really sickening. Military industrial complex. They're the one that control everything. And the RAND Corporation is the one that built those tunnel boring machines. They melt and vitrify the rocks. That way they don't even need to put concrete slab to secure the walls. Once you vitrify the rock, it becomes self-contained. If RAND is the mother of think tanks, then Ford Foundation must be considered the father. That's correct.